Yeah.
We crossed what 90% of podcasts.
Yes, 90% of most podcasts don't make it past the third iteration, whatever that might be.
Third episode, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
now we just gotta beat 20. That's the next milestone.
Yeah.
And if you get 21, you're in the top 1%.
Wow.
You're next to Joe Rogan at that point.
Yeah.
You're basically at that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this time we upgraded a little, and we also got a topic list. So that's a cool upgrade.
Yeah.
So the thing, because
Getting more structured.
yeah,
Yeah.
we realized last time we were rambling a lot, which is fine. We don't mind that, but we don't want to run out of topics very early. So we just thought of things that could be nice to talk about, and so we ended up with a small list that we'll probably flesh out eventually. We'll see how it goes, and then we can probably upgrade it based on that. So the first one we start with is just like how our books are going. So how is it for you?
I'm almost like 5 to 6 hours into the book.
The what? 6 hours?
Yeah, into the audiobook of 16 hours. It's so interesting. I'm reading the book Code Breaker from Isaac Walterson, and the book is about Jennifer Doudna, the person who invented or discovered CRISPR. So it can be said invented, but also it's a discovery, not an invention, because it's already done by bacteria. We just stole the ideas from bacteria, but it's so cool that they figured it out. So it's so interesting, man. It's so interesting. The way they invented the structure of RNA for the first time ever, she did it. And then how they invented the CRISPR, nobody was able to find out whether it will work or not, to cut the DNA strand at any place where you want it precisely.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. And then currently where I am is to prove that CRISPR will work in mammalian cells.
Yeah, because it's just for bacteria
yeah,
so far.
So
right?
far they are doing only on Streptococcus or something.
Yeah.
Streptococcus pyogenes. That's what they are doing for. So which we studied in microbiology. So I was just so now they are trying to prove that it can be also done for mammalian cells. And this time there are a couple of different teams from Harvard, MIT, and Doudna from Berkeley are rushing to find the solution first to prove it. That's where the prices, patents, and the money or everything is there. Because if you do prove that, you can engineer a mammalian cell, which is basically
what we
us.
are. Yeah.
So we can basically edit anything in our cell, right? Like you also would have heard in China, it is assumed that they made the first CRISPR baby by removing the HIV, knocked out the gene that causes or that links to give you the condition HIV. So basically created a baby that can never get HIV. So it's very cool, man. It's very cool. And now they're telling stories of different labs in MIT, Harvard, and Berkeley, and it's a cool thing.
But how is that like? I mean, it's a weird sentence, but the HIV baby.
Yeah.
How does that? How do you verify that? Was it in the book?
It is like a very well known fact actually, or also it's also allegedly a thing. Yeah. But also the thing is very straightforward. So whenever HIV virus attacks a human, it basically joins that specific sequence of DNA. That's the one that attracts and then causes you immune system to go off the rails, right? So basically they knock out that gene. The HIV virus cannot join into the DNA of the mammalian cell to destroy all your T cells, basically.
But it can't join, so it's not like, because what I thought it was a baby whose mother had HIV and then got infected or something themselves, and then they removed it, or is it rather a resistance to it, to
the virus cannot even infect a single cell, because it cannot. How does a virus infect? Basically puts the nucleic acids into the nucleus and then lives in a living cell. In this case, it's a immune cell, right? So it cannot. It's the lock and key mechanism, right? There is no key for it to lock to, so it won't ever express itself. So it's not like they are curing a baby that got HIV from its mama. They're making a egg with egg and a sperm, and then that first zygote or embryo, they are knocking out the gene so that baby will not have. It's not a cure, it's like prevention. It's like engineering.
Complete prevention. Okay, I see. Okay.
And also I saw a documentary about Dodna. It's called Human Nature. It's in Netflix as well, so you guys should check it out. So there, the child from Africa was saying that he's suffering from sickle cell anemia. Okay, so they were telling that with this CRISPR technology you can remove it. He said, maybe that is something. He did not want to be changed, shocking everybody. The director, everybody was shocked that why did you don't want a technology like this if it existed. He said, I am who I am. At least 9 years old or 12 years old, he said, I am who I am because of this sickle cell disease. I am forgiving, I am more positive, hopeful, all those things because of that. So, and also one more thing is, scientifically speaking, see, if you have a disease, I vaccinate you, or if before you get a disease, I vaccinate you and I do something. If you have a child, it is not going to affect the child, right? But in this case, if you edit the egg, basically, or zygote or embryo, from that child to every other generation, it's a genetically modified individual. It's like the entire lineage, what it means to be a human is changed forever. So that's the negative argument, why you shouldn't play God,
No, with these things. Yeah, but that's all fine and all, but you say these things until you see like some baby with all its limbs missing and barely crawling around. That's not really being human. So until a certain point, it makes sense. People like, you might not be able to prevent Down syndrome and things like that, but at least
I mean, they can diagnose in the embryo itself. Will it have genetically? Is it having the?
Can it have it all? Is it like predisposed?
Prone to these things, right?
Yeah, that's okay.
Especially Alzheimer's, all of these things you can detect before itself, very very early.
Yeah, but the problem is not only detection but also like treating it, because does having a higher chance of getting Alzheimer make you more human, if you see what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
you're becoming less of a human, more of an engineered product also. And also
mostly I just mean like, I get these people don't want to be modified, which is fine,
understandable.
Understandable. You don't want to be modified, but like severe diseases that are guaranteed to ruin the rest of your life, does that make you more human if you remove that? Like I get the sickle cell anemia.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right? Yeah. The kid will die if he's not getting, like it's like. And also one interesting argument, just on top of what you're talking about. Whenever a person is having a sickle cell trait, if you have both the genes, you probably will die very young, prematurely, or very very young stage you will die. If you have no carrier genes, you probably will never even face it. But you have one sickle cell trait and one normal gene, in that case you probably partially have the symptoms but not fully sickle cell condition, so your oxygen retention will be fine. Where this happens? In all the tropical areas. Why that happens? Malaria. So if you that's a very good point. If you in tropical places where mosquitoes are a lot and malaria is very common, people having sickle cell trait will never get malaria. Malaria parasite doesn't like the sickle cell RBCs. So basically it's like a evolutionary trait, and you will see only sickle cell trait only in these places. So why are we removing it? Who are we to remove it, or should we remove it? I don't know. Right?
Yeah, but that's an example of a partially beneficial gene.
Yeah. That's exactly the child was also saying. What if we do not know the use of the gene? What if it also removes the hair growing gene as well? I don't know.
You don't know the whole gene.
Yeah.
But also
genes function, because genes can have multiple functions. What if it removes the hair growing trait actually? If you remove the HIV, knock out the HIV gene or the sickle cell trait, So it's a gray area, buddy. You tell me about your book. How is it going, sir?
I like how, it's just funny because We just talked about this before we started listing topics, and we were like, oh, it has to be gentle topics.
Yeah.
Nice topics.
Yeah, light-hearted ones.
Yeah, because it's been a long day, because we've been, I mean, more or less studying.
Trying to.
Trying to. Sometimes it doesn't work. It's the weekend after all. But also, focus on your own is not always the greatest. But we're chugging through. So it's just funny that we started off with malaria and sickle cell.
Yeah,
children.
What it means to be human. Straight philosophy in the first 10 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah, that's a good way to start it.
Yeah.
I think. And then we'll get over to my books, which are a whole lot less brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I started the Noah Kagan one, and I finished the $1 million offers.
Really? You finished the book actually?
I finished it, but it's like naturally I only listened to it, so of course I haven't grabbed all the information.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but what I understood about the $1 million offer is the way that you can upgrade the offer that you already have by genuinely adding things and making it more useful, and what that might look like in order to increase the worth of an offer, so that you can increase the pricing of it, because generally speaking, increasing price, you don't have to increase anything else, and you still grow. And just the different methods that you might use on doing that, like bonuses and limited time things,
exclusivity,
naming of the offer, things that you can use in order to improve that. It was also a whole lot more, but I'll have to listen to it again to have that make sense and stick. For the Noah Kagan one, started today. Half an hour into it, not so long. You're at 7 hours, so it's a whole lot of time.
I'm 2 hours into that Noah Kagan's book, but
Oh, okay. Which one? The same one?
Same one, yeah.
Oh, okay. When did you start?
I start multiple books at multiple times, and then I just get overwhelmed, and then I did the 2 hours in one go, I think. That's why I got overwhelmed, and because it's a lot of information to digest, and then I feel like maybe I should not just...
that's the thing I did for the $1 million offer thing. It was just too much stuff all the time. Like a bunch of abbreviations, what the different things mean.
Yeah, and you get also burnt out or something, or you feel like you are losing a lot of information, kind of. So I just don't want to do that. So I wanted to forget it a bit, the book itself, or the everything, whatever it is, without completely forgetting the value. You see what I mean?
Yeah, so continuing at some point.
So I'm doing the genetics part of it, and then I'll come back to the... once this gets too monotonous and boring a bit or something, and then I go to the Noah Kagan one and continue there.
Yeah, for sure. I think when you read through a book, like the Ad-Lib book, which you continue to, you learn a lot more the first time you go through it, because it is more thorough. But
or you're seeing it for the first time, you focus more. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that too. It's more interesting when you
more interesting. All new stuff.
because it's new stuff.
Yeah.
But for the audiobook, that's definitely not an advantage, but it's an advantage in the fact that you can continue to listen to it over and over and over again until it sticks. Because what we do anyway, the things that we do, and when we listen to them, is typically when we're making food, like traveling, biking back and forth, not in class. Or doing some meaningless task that you have to do, like cleaning the room or whatever. Then you listen to it. So it's a way to make dead time more useful. Does that make sense? So that's when we listen to it. So naturally we're occupied with other things, which means we'll probably lose some focus on it, but we can just listen to it again and it will probably be fine. But the Noah Kagan book, I forgot about that. The topics that he talked about was useful. It's more of a book to get you started in business, if that makes sense. So I only listen to half an hour. You listen to 2 hours, so you probably have a little bit more topics. But the topics that I remember include things like the coffee challenge, I think he called it. Where you basically ask for discounts, or you go out of your way to do something uncomfortable, which sounds very gimmicky, but I guess it could be useful for the people that are struggling with talking to basically anyone.
Yeah.
Like for example, I remember back in middle school when everyone's angsty, right? Like we went out with a group of friends, and then we just wanted to find basic. I mean, it was just chips, right? We just wanted to find chips because it was the weekend. And no one dared to ask the clerk employee where the chips were.
Okay.
So I think it's to break people out of those kind of bubbles.
Yeah. And especially when you start a business, you will very, very quickly understand it is not a one-man show. The more you network, the more you make friends inside the business community or your business domain, it will really change your business. You cannot have a business without talking. Or if you really, really don't want to talk, you cannot be a CEO. You have to be more like a CTO or a domain expert or a subject matter expert. So you need to hire somebody. So yeah, this book is like for anybody who wants to start their first business, and what are the things you will probably be doing wrong or struggle to overcome and slowly get going, at a good pace.
And also another thing about the challenge, the coffee challenge, which is it's a good idea. You don't ask a discount just because you have to get used to asking stuff from strangers, but also much more importantly, getting rejected, because you're not asking for the discount to get a discount. You're asking for a discount to most likely get rejected and do something awkward in front of everyone.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
The embarrassment, right, and the fear, talking to a stranger, right?
Yeah, because that's how you progress. At least in the beginning, you'll probably make a fool of yourself a lot more than you thought you might.
And hear a lot of no's,
Yeah.
That's what the trick is, Within the 100 no's, there is a couple of yeses. That yeses is what will make your business success, Or thrive, or just go forward,
And then the other topics that you mentioned, other than the rejection tolerance, was also setting rejection goals. Like
his father's story.
His dad's, of course, he's Jewish, so of course he's a bit more business savvy than most. So he basically set a rejection goal of 100. So if you get 100 rejections, that was a good day or a good week. Sorry. So just a completely different way of looking at it. So that's also a good point that they got from the book. And then lastly, I think I'm just gonna call it the $1 thing, because he didn't name it particularly, which is just asking someone that you know to give you $1. So you ask them to give you $1, and then in exchange you give them documentation about how your business is going. So you get someone to basically invest $1, a singular dollar, into your company, and then you give back documentation about what you're improving with every week or something, just to put you on edge.
Accountable.
Yeah, hold you accountable and get started, because in his opinion, getting started is the most important thing.
Yeah, which I totally agree though. I have like 2-3 websites that I created for like a weekend business challenge, 2 business ideas. I made a website, everything is done. And then I stopped. I no marketing, no sales. Like, how will people know? Like, why will they reach out to me? Nothing. I created the Google Forms, payment connected, everything is done. But stopped. Accountability is the biggest thing,
But why did you stop though?
Because the fear of selling.
But what did you want to sell?
Education is a service business where I'm helping kids from India, China, or people from third world countries who wants to do their higher education here. I am going to guide them for studying in Europe. It could be engineering or medicine. I pretty much did all of those shit. And I'm living in Europe for the last 7 years, so I know a lot about how to apply for universities, how to have a portfolio rather than just marks in your CV, So those kind of things. That's a viable business, right? And I'm a data scientist, and I have almost 6 years of experience in working in the medical field. So I wanted to create a bioinformatician consultant kind of a business for pharma companies or any medical businesses, So it's a biostatistician or something like that, So you can be a medical consultant. That's a very lucrative field as well. So I created the website, all the things done, and stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, because you do have a lot of experience with that stuff. Because yeah, your portfolio is a lot more impressive than mine. Naturally, that's why I kind of looked up there.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because the problem is once again, right, that fear and embarrassment not able to overcome. Once again, I'm a subject matter expert, have no ability to talk to or communicate or nothing. So I'm like giving up halfway there. Every time
Okay.
start. That's why starting is not hard also. For some people it is. For some of us it's not. But being consistent or going to the next level or do not know how to go to the next level. One of the reasons I am reading Noah Kagan is because he's an excellent marketing guy, sales guy. I am okay, decent in the technical aspect. I can deliver a product or a service, but I don't know how to sell. So I need this to. I am reading this book to be a seller. That's why I recommended this to you because we both are technical guys. We will suck. We don't know how to sell. That's the truth.
Yeah.
What have we sold in our lives? Nothing. So we
Zero
better
stuff.
start selling. Learn how to sell from the
mean-
expert kind of. Yeah.
I mean, you do have some products. That thing.
Yeah, did I sell? How many did I sell? See, I have so many of.
Yeah, you have so many requests. That's why I'm thinking, like, if you just... I mean, I know you can only sell them locally because it would be too expensive to send, like, one or two abroad. You'd have to make them...
Yeah, I mean, the shipping cost will be...
Yeah.
But it will be also... It's not that bad, though. Within EU, it shouldn't be fine because the weight of the... What we are talking about is we are making a product for Christmas. We have the 3D printer. Why not make use of that freaking thing? $1,000
He's
investment.
making them anyway, right?
Yeah. So I'm just making some concepts which we will talk about in a separate video together. I'll show you the product itself. So the thing is, once again, I do not know how to sell, but the product itself weighs a lot less though. So the shipping cost should be so small.
Because it's based on weight.
And weight, right?
Yeah.
And it's plastic.
Yeah.
So it's like
biodegradable plastic.
yeah. So it's like it should be totally fine, But I do not know how to sell.
Yeah.
So the idea is to finish this book and freaking sell a dozen of those at least. That's a win. At least.
Yeah, that would be a huge win. Managing to make people give you
because
money.
I sold that thing to him. I showed him.
Yeah, he wanted one.
Yeah, he wanted one, and then he told to one of my other friends, and my girlfriend told 2-3 people are already wanting to buy. She said these people are doing white collar jobs in IT sector. For them, 30 salary is nothing. 20 salary, 30 salary is nothing.
And remember, everyone who's gone in and you've shown that
has
wanted one.
Yeah.
Paul wanted one. Roshan wanted one. And granted for it.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
But still, it just shows that you have something, which, why not just try and sell that? It's just a small thing. It would be experience regardless. You would win just by a single sell to a person you do not know.
That's how much confidence, I have 2 failed startups earlier, software set, which he knows that's a topic for another day. Big story. So the thing is, one of the things startup failed was like we couldn't sell. We once again delivered the product, everything based on deadline, everything was done, but we did not know how to sell,
Yeah.
So yeah.
So wouldn't maybe this can be a learning thing.
Yeah.
It's technically just like most products, technically useless. It's more a sentimental product. So.
Yeah.
But I think it could be a good thing for you to learn.
Yeah. So this is like the stuff that we learn from the books, you guys see, like just reading books, how much we could freaking learn, right? Just think like after finishing this book, how much we will be better, This is a completely new skill, and of course we will be testing it, In this case, our product or service is YouTube podcast, right? How are we promoting it? Are we having the balls to put it in our WhatsApp group of our university? Not yet. No. Hell no. So it's like, let's see, after finishing the book, we'll have the courage to market our thing.
Of course, that would be a lot. It would give you accountability. It would give you exposure.
And overcome shame, ridicule, making fun of accents and
topics like the quality of our videos.
I mean, quality is good enough, I think.
You say for now, but then you look at the other podcasts.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But for now, at this stage we're in, we're probably really good going. So just technically by all standards, that's a really good decision to put our link to the podcast into our group and WhatsApp.
Places where we feel so ashamed to put it, because that's where it should be sold, because those are the guys who will probably see these things, because it adds value to them as well. Our fellow peers who do only veterinary medicine are most likely, I think.
Yeah, maybe they do some other stuff.
We do not know.
The only one.
Very few people do other things other than just studying. People have the terrifying attitude when it comes to the veterinary medicine course that they don't do anything else. But our pitch is start a YouTube channel, start a podcast, do something with your time,
Yeah, I think, that kind of goes nicely into another topic that I wanted to address, actually.
Yeah.
Which is, do we go for that one?
Yeah.
Because the reason, and then we can cover these other two, I think, afterwards. So they'll be revealed eventually. But the reason I thought it went nicely is because it covers kind of why did we start kind of branching out. What is your idea post-grad, and why is it not just being a vet in a clinic working? Why not, right?
Or why you should not just study and graduate, and then whatever job you get, you decide based on that. But what we are talking about is you sit in the driver's seat, you take time before graduation. We have 2.5 years left. So I think it's a very, very nice time to sit down and decide what we wanted to do.
But also kind of urgent, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's starting to get urgent, but still ahead.
Create an urgency, because I have seen so many fellow veterinary students who are in the final years who still do not know what they wanted to do with their specialization, or what do they want to work for, which species, small animal, canine, equine, like what do you want to do?
Anything, So
it's so sad to see that, and I'm sure even though it feels like we have 2.5 years, I'm sure the time will run so quick. So
yeah, that's the problem. That's why you kind of got to start these things, and especially because we're international in a way, so you got to start especially a podcast like this one earlier. So it becomes you become more used to doing it online. But you see so many people not really knowing what to do after after graduating. So what are you thinking about doing after?
So the thing is, I did work in a clinic, in a Polish clinic though. I did not understand the language so much, which we talked in the previous episodes. Please do check it out. So I really liked working in the clinic, but I also kind of feel like over time, like in a couple of years, maybe just 1 or 2 years, you feel like it's monotonous, boring, same job or something. And also I personally think maybe I might not be the right fit for it, or I'm already questioning it a bit.
Me too, actually.
And I'm very much interested in research. Coming from engineering, did electrical engineering, then did software engineering, currently doing veterinary medicine. I like to explore different avenues which I'm completely new, and start from scratch and learn, go to a level. I'm trying to find out what exactly I wanted to do with my life, or what is something that I'm really passionate about, that I don't feel like it's a work, I'm not doing it forcefully or something. I'm still finding out. I'm almost 30 years age. So the thing is, I'm thinking of PhD.
Which is brave.
Or could be suicidal. I don't know. So the thing is, I started out reading books once again about stuff that I was interested in doing research. Started with cancer.
Yeah.
So
was it the King of Maladies?
Yeah, King of Maladies, and other things with respect to healthcare, both human medicine, veterinary medicine.
Should we maybe show that book if people want to read it?
Yeah, you can show them.
It's here, right?
Yeah.
King of Maladies. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's the Emperor of all maladies.
Yeah, you guys can see here, I guess.
It's reversed though, so.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, you guys get the point, right? The crab symbol book. So
take a picture of it and flip the image. That will work out.
So this book was written by Siddhartha Mukherjee, and this book won the Pulitzer Prize in 2011. It is basically talking about the biography of cancer, from how it started and how people started treating it, like decades back, maybe centuries back, till 1700, 1500, and then currently where we are with respect to cancer. And also, before even going for the PhD thing, I was looking into specialization into veterinary medicine.
Yeah.
So I went to a conference or like a talk given by another anesthesiologist who specialized in anesthesia.
Oh, yeah, was that one?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. So I went and attended it. He explained from the start to the finish what it takes to be a specialized person in veterinary medicine in any field you choose, surgery, equine, or anything. And I basically realized after that, listening to that talk, that I don't want to be a specialist. And that's sometimes very useful. You just have to go to these different things to dip yourself feet inside, because I'm mostly an introvert. I love my home. I don't even go outside my home. I basically don't attend any of these things, but I forced myself to go for this. Now I thank myself that I realized that I don't want to do this for sure.
Specialist, yeah.
So then I ended up choosing PhD, and then PhD I started with cancer, and then I read this book, and then I did a lot more research and read some papers about it, a lot of podcasts and other stuff from people who are specialists in cancer and oncology. I personally am not 100% inclined into cancer, but it is one of the very interesting subjects that I personally love.
Yeah.
It's very dear and near to my heart. The one thing that discourages me to not pursue research in this field is because people have already tried spending their entire life or decades into cancer research and then did not get anywhere. That's something
really not very far.
My fear is like you all your hard work did not account to anything. Like,
you're on the wrong track or something.
Or you will never be able to have an impact in the world that really changes the world.
You're like one of the steps to the whole cure.
Yeah, exactly, right. So I don't want to be that step. I wanted to be the change maker. I wanted to have that impact. I wanted to invent or discover something. I wanted to have the power to directly impact or indirectly, but I wanted to do that. But in cancer, even if somebody has found a way to solve a specific type of cancer, let's say Hodgkin's cancer or something, or Hodgkin's lymphoma or something, it was solved, okay? And then in 5 to 10 years, the cancer develops resistance to that treatment, and then it no longer works anymore. So it just is a little bit too hard nut to crack. Then I went to move to stem cells. Now I'm learning about stem cells, but I'm not really sure how to make it a successful research or a business. Now I'm thinking, should it be a business or a research thing? So I'm thinking about that also. In the middle of all those things, I just stumbled upon genetic engineering, genetics, and then Jennifer Doudna, CRISPR, all those things, where I could clearly see the impact immediately. It doesn't even have to be a discovery. It could be a tool, What did Jennifer did? She developed a tool to cut. She developed a scissor, a fancy scissor to cut DNA. In future, I could develop a tool, CRISPR tool, to detect a specific tumor. Straight away I can feel like there is a lot of potential and scope. So it's a long answer, right? So this is what I am trying to figure out. I'm still have 2.5 years, but I'm now starting to do research on the labs. Every day I'm spending a couple of hours to literally go through every university website, trying to see what each lab is doing, what I resonate with, and what I like and what I don't want to.
Have you sent any emails to any of them?
Not yet, because that's something I'm really eager to send the email, but I'm not sending it because I myself do not know what I really wanted to do yet. So I wanted to spend at least the next 1 year in confirming, because this is something a big decision. Like the PhD is like, probably most likely I'll be doing this at the end for the rest of my life. So I wanted to see whether should I use AI, which I already know in any of these fields. Should it be a lab that uses computational statistics also, along with hands-on wet lab experience? So there are so many moving parts. I'm just trying to answer one by one. So
trying to figure it out, because you started already with the stem cell course, right?
course? What do
Not
you...
a course. You haven't started it yet, but you sent an email to one of the local.
Oh yeah. That's a good thing that you brought up. So I reached out to one of the professors in the human medicine university next to our compound. So she's happy to have me. So they do cell culturing. It's basically traditional cell culturing. I was interested in stem cells, so basically how to culture stem cells in a laboratory controlled in vitro environment. So all those things. So she, yeah, of course, admitted me for next year at some point.
Yeah, and you said in vitro for people that don't know what that is.
You can tell.
It just means that it's in a lab. It's
Yeah.
outside the body. You have vitro, and then you got vivo.
Vivo.
Vivo is inside something living. It's because that's Latin for living.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. And then vitro, I don't know what it means exactly, but it's the opposite. It's in a lab, so just
in a test tube.
In a test tube on a petri dish
meaning,
outside the body, something.
Yeah.
So just so people don't get tripped up on that.
Yeah. That's why they call like IVF, in vitro fertilization, test tube baby, Yeah.
Oh, I think I was a test tube baby actually.
Yeah.
Come to think of it.
We all are. Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember my
So, yeah, about yourself, like what is your plan?
Oh God. I kind of came to the similar conclusion that you did, in the fact that I don't think normal veterinary medicine is as much of a attractive goal as it used to be. Because before I was just like, I need to get specialized and then I'll just do that once I'm done. Right? But the problem that I realized was when I worked in a clinic, which was in Norway, again, the problem I stumbled upon a lot was the fact that the people that are specialized and specializing is, first of all, they're mid-30s and they're still going at it.
Yeah.
They're not done yet. So like you're going until maybe you're 37, 38, depending on how much you want to do. And because there's such a lack of people, you might want to do so much.
Yeah.
Which is fine and all, to have a lot of passion about that, but then you'll be a good worker. But the problem with being a good worker is that you need someone to employ you, which means that you're very vulnerable to people deciding your salary and it's
and the risk to reward, right? The risk here is the time and money and efforts you put.
Exactly.
It's like mostly graveyard shift you work during the specialization. That's something the person who did the talk was telling me. You basically work 24/7 for 4 or 5 years straight with...
And that's a funny thing you mentioned, because that's exactly what I was going to say, because that's the exact same thing I see in a clinic that's in a completely different country run by people that are completely unrelated to them, is that they work so much for so little. Granted, it's not so little, but compared to like a specialized doctor, like human doctor, it's a lot less, but it's the same like effort.
Yeah.
You have to be so passionate in order to go through with it, that it's a thing that I don't know if I'm capable of doing.
Yeah, that's something we should be humble enough to accept, right? It's not something like we feel like very shameful to say that we are not passionate. We can say in other words that maybe we are not the right fit for it, right? Like that's a better way, right? Like you were saying, like we are not that passionate towards it, which is okay. We are still willing to find out what we are interested, right? So as long as we're trying to find what is your purpose, it's fine, I guess.
Yeah, because we have both met very passionate people, right?
Yeah.
Like Roshan, for example, that's a person that we know.
There are people who are born to be veterinarians, Like one of my teachers in the clinic, and then one of my seniors, like he's referring to, these people are born to be vets.
There's nothing else on the table for
them.
They
love their lifestyle that they created for themselves. They love their job. They wake up every day excited. Maybe I'm not the person to do the same, but
because when we work in a clinic, granted we were both like cleaning ladies and things like that.
Glorified cleaning person.
We just cleaned up the poop of the clinic, so naturally we didn't have the best aspect of the job.
Perspective.
So maybe it might be partly that, but for me it was mostly the hours that I worked and seeing how this does not fit. I had 3 hours at the end of each day to do what I wanted to do, and that includes eating and showering before the next day. And that's when I chipped down on the amount I sleep, and that's another topic we might discuss later.
And in the summer holidays, by the way, it's not even like in the middle of university exams. Because of that I couldn't sleep. It's in the summer holidays, he's just freaking burning himself out,
just so I can have enough hours to do what I need to do and want to do. which includes studying, by the way. It
Yeah.
started somewhat in the summer, which I advise you to do. If you have a vacation, you should study in the vacation.
Yeah.
It's really helpful.
You'll be really thankful to yourself, if you
Yeah.
start studying something.
It doesn't have to be a lot, just something. Anywho, just seeing how much I needed to work and being at such a low rung of the ladder when it comes to like the hierarchy, the top guys
Yeah.
being the specialized people, and seeing how they work even more than me,
Yeah.
and seeing that, oh, you need a lot of passion to make this thing go around. There's a reason the suicide rate is really high
Yeah.
in veterinary
And
medicine.
also one more thing is like adding to the suicide thing is like I mean, I don't know how to say it, like I have to say it politely, like if you are very very good in one thing, this also puts you in a very dangerous spot if that thing is getting obsolete or wiped out as technology advances or some reason. Probably your entire skill set won't be needed for the world, with the rise in AI. They're already expecting so many white collar jobs to be erased in the next 5 to 10 years. So I'm thinking, why do I need a specialization when I can have a specialized AI, $20 a month, in 5 to 10 years without going through the pain, which I can easily afford as a general practitioner or as a researcher? I don't care. And also one more thing is the impact that we have on a society. Like as a veterinarian, probably Christian might save like thousands of pets in his life, but as a researcher, in my case, if I'm a PhD person, if I'm able to devise a tool to, let's say, to predict cancer in the blood or something, I might have the impact 100,000 times. That's something,
and beyond your lifetime as well.
yeah, exactly. That's something Ali Abdal said. On an average, statistically, a doctor saves 20 lives or something like that. With this YouTube channel, Ali Abdal is a YouTuber, famous YouTuber. He's a Cambridge medical student, currently a full-time YouTuber. He's impacting hundreds of thousands of students' lives,
Yeah.
The scale, of impact also is like crazy.
Yeah. So if you want to impact the most amount possible, then the direct approach, which is becoming a doctor, might not be the best solution. So that's also the reason why we're both a little bit skeptical about the profession at
it's
this
like
point.
A midlife crisis.
Yeah, we're halfway through the education and we're thinking, oh God.
Yeah.
I'm still very happy that I chose it. I'm not angry about that. I love the things that I learned about.
Yeah, no regrets though. I see, another thing is, we also are not saying that we will never work in a clinic or something. We would happily work in a clinic, but we don't see ourselves doing that for the rest 30, 40 years of our lives or the entire working career, That's exactly what we want to say. We could spend like couple of years in, let's say, an equine place or a mixed animal practice or a small animal clinic, get enough experience and then decide to do something else. But we wanted to think ahead, from now onwards, because it feels the right time to do so.
Yeah, just so we can do something that's a little bit more impactful, and I would argue not a better use of our time, but I feel like because we're able to do something about it, why not try to do something about it?
Yeah.
We can at least try.
Yeah, we can try, like that's what many people give up. At least I've seen in Europeans, you guys don't have those things. You guys are still free to, explore and exploit and stuff. In India, it's only exploitation, between 18 to 24, you'll have an undergrad or a master's degree. That's what you do for the rest of your life. People work in 30 years, 20 years, 40 years in one profession and then they retire at the top, In India, it's like frowned upon. So it's, for me, in my case, it was even more harder, to overcome the societal pressure, all those things. It's very hard to explain. I don't know if you understand, but it's so hard to convince, literally from your close family, relations, friends and family. They all think I'm a crazy person for leaving my AI job opportunities and then coming and studying veterinary medicine.
Yeah, especially in this day and age where like the most paid people are AI.
Yeah, and then I just said bye-bye to that and then coming and doing veterinary, and then it's also scary and shocking to. So when I also realized maybe this is not something I also don't want to do for the rest of my life, is like, but that is life, such is life. There is no rule book. You try to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life at your own will, like, and make sure you don't do it in a dumb way. For example, I'm studying veterinary medicine, but I'm not forcing my parents to pay my tuition fees. I use my engineering skills to work part-time to pay my bills. So we have to be a little bit smart. I am not a person who's gonna come here and say follow your heart, follow your passion, dreams. You should be a little bit smarter.
Yeah.
Let's say you have engineering degree and you hate your engineering job. You want to do, let's say, filmmaking or something. Okay, work a part-time job, make enough money so that you make a living and pursue your passion. Be smart about it.
Yeah, so that you don't become a liability to somebody else.
Yeah, including your own family. Like, how long will they support you? Like, I am just switching like 1,000 times. Like, how even my parents will have some patience, right? Like,
Yeah. It will run thin one day.
Yeah.
And you'll get to know it.
Yeah.
It will impact you and you only.
Glaringly, it'll be like, yeah.
Oh God, no more money. Yeah, so I think that's a good solution if you want to pursue something else as well, which I think most people are itching for. They know they can do more than they're currently doing for the most part. And then, yeah, they want to pursue more. So I think finding a job like that it's a good idea. Of course, you already completed a thing and then you pursued. And because of the thing you completed, you can then pursue your other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that's an important part of it, like complete your first thing and then the other?
Exactly. That's the fundamental thing. Finish what you started. Like, you cannot bail in the middle. I mean, like, it's also very subjective, I would say. Like, some really smart people have bailed, like Elon Musk got into Stanford and then bailed. Mark Zuckerberg, so many people, Bill Gates, so many people have decided this is not for them. But see, you have to have that leap of faith that this is it, I'm not doing anything else for the rest of my life. I have the gut feeling of this is gonna work. In my case, I am shamelessly accepting that I still do not know what I wanted to do. In that case, I cannot take the risk of jumping into something 100% unless I know really. That's what I'm trying to find out, So in our cases, we cannot do that. Or most people are. You will rarely be like, very certain of what you wanted to do and achieve success in that. It doesn't always mean that victory. Most people who follow their passion, who did these things like discontinuing from education, from the traditional education, going and doing something, slept in the friend's couch or in their car for several years. So I have seen so many YouTubers broke sleeping in car for several years and then they finally reach that spot where they are making money in YouTube. So you have to have the willpower. You cannot, if you are going to do that something really boldly, you better have the willpower. Life will break you and slap you in the face. Like, there's no way it's gonna be like cakewalk. Oh, I just followed my passion, I made it in life. No. I have seen so many YouTubers homeless following passion. So many comedians, they left their full-time job, went into comedy. They were homeless for 3 years because they followed their passion.
Or 9. I remember a Kill Tony thing.
Yeah.
A guy came up, I've been doing this for 9 years and I'm homeless. I don't remember the episode, but it was extreme to just listen to a guy just have nothing and still have nothing.
And still hopeful after 9 years. That's why you better have the willpower. For me, I could have discontinued veterinary medicine every time it was hard, I could have gone back to engineering. But I think that is more scary for me. More like a, loser mentality to go back to engineering. This is something I started. I better finish it and I love it and I enjoy it. I wanted to be a veterinarian and I'm very proud about it. And every time it gets harder, that's why your why should be stronger, like why the hell did you choose this? You have to be really strong enough.
Still figuring it out. Or you did not know yet.
The podcast title makes so much sense. Are we losers? It is like, oh God, it's everything we say is like
we don't know.
Yeah. Could be true.
We are not sure. But that's why the podcast name makes sense. That makes sense. I like it. Oh God. Anything else you wanted to say on the topic?
I guess like we did good for this episode. I guess we did like 48 minutes, close to 48, 50 minutes. I think.
But we still have more topics if you want to go through them.
Should we do it in the next one maybe? Add it on the next one maybe?
I don't know. We could do that or we could stretch it. Depends on how much people like.
Yeah, the thing is what I was thinking was like to maybe put it under an hour, 50 minutes, because many useful, they are talking a lot of information, many
Yeah.
things gets lost.
That's
Let's
true.
say something is 2 hours, and initial stages of the podcast where people are not watching our shit, so that time lot of useful stuff gets wasted in one video itself. So better to save it up, I think.
Yeah, that's a fair point, because it's funny you mentioned that, because the studies course, the I Can Study course, which is a course that I'm currently taking and still enrolled in. I'm not the greatest at it, naturally.
Obviously, like all of us, yeah.
But in there, he kind of drops these subtle hints. It's a study course that helps you with these different techniques in order to help you think about not just studying, but general information gathering in a more efficient way. It's a good course. It's somewhat pricey, $150, I think. Yeah, something like that, $150, I think, for a year. So it takes a year to complete. But it's quite thorough, it's quite good. But in there, he talks about like how long should you focus on a single task. And for the most part, you should try to push past 1 hour. But generally, 40 minutes is when people mostly give up. So it's a good point you make there. And the fact that we've gone for 15 minutes. So it might be better to split it up again to another podcast.
Because we brought talk about a lot of information which I'm pretty sure will be useful for you guys in different walks of life. For sure it should be very useful. I'm pretty sure about it, because we are also in the similar age group, and we are living our life, and we are giving live feedback about our lives. So it could really help you from falling into some pitfalls that we fell and stuff.
Like the people that are going first year in veterinary medicine or first year in anything, and they just see that, oh, in third year I'll know everything, right? And then you realize, dang, I still don't know what I might want to do. And also the fact that we're trying to, even though we know what finishing our education looks like, and we still want to change it, and we feel like we might be able to change it. And what we're doing in order to do that. So you're looking into stem cells, PhDs you can do.
Yeah. I think that's a very interesting topic. I think we should continue this topic a bit in every podcast that we do, Maybe in couple of weeks, I'll ask you again, what are you planning to do after that?
Has anything changed?
What is the update? What are you feeling, So that...
God. Yeah. That could be put very
That will be very keeping us accountable, so that we don't fall into the trap of just studying for the next exam and surviving the...
Yeah, and also not just doing the circle jerk thing of thinking about what to do next and not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. Just thinking about it and not taking any step to do the research per se. Yeah.
Yeah, so it might be a good thing actually, but it will be kind of scary.
Yeah.
But it's probably...
You have to start at some point.
Somewhat. So I think we'll do it next time, because we are 52 minutes in. So
see you guys.
We'll continue next time. See ya.